Hello and welcome to another episode of the Many Faces of Cancer podcast. I am your host, Melissa Groswell, and joining me today is Eric Blaylock. Now, if you have listened to earlier episodes of the podcast, I actually interviewed Eric's wife, Marla, early on when we first started the podcast, and we had kind of talked about Eric being her caregiver and everything that he has gone through and how he wants to write a book about being a male caregiver for your wife. And I just wanted to get him on the show to share his experiences as well. So he is joining us today. So welcome to the show, Eric.
Thank you. Great to be here.
All right. I'm so glad to have you on, and we have got a lot to get through.
Let's see. How long was 2013? 11 years.
11 years. Wow.
Since the beginning.
Right? All right. So why don't we start there? Tell me a little bit about what it was like when Marla was initially diagnosed for you.
I was really naive. I was stupid, actually, in a way. I didn't have
no idea. What do you mean by that?
I didn't have any idea what we were up against.
Okay.
You know, the trusting the first diagnosis and doing exactly what they tell you to do, and you think you're fine. You follow the rules, and everything should be okay. But that's not a guarantee in cancer diagnosis. Marla had a double mastectomy. We did everything by the book, radiation, chemo, and still it came back in 2018, and now she is metastatic. So we've been dealing with metastatic breast cancer since 2018, and that has been a journey in itself.
I bet.
Yes, it has. So knowing that, you know, how to face this day to day, long term, short term, it's all above. You know, everything's out of balance. Everything's in balance, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So before we got on, you kind of said you wanted to start off with the story of keeping a secret from your wife. Right. So tell us a little that story.
My first caretaker duty, as I'll call it. It was September 13th, 2013. I remember it was a Friday the 13th at 5:00 in the evening. I was sitting there alone in a surgery waiting room. Nurse came up to me and told me that surgery was done, blah, blah, blah. They had removed the breast tissue. One of the tumors was very close to lymph nodes on the left side. So they went ahead and took 16 lymph nodes at the same time. So that caused lymphedema down the road. No, that's another story. But we did the book. They told me, don't tell anybody that she may need radiation or chemo. Don't say a word to anybody, especially Marla, her parents, or anything like that, until we know promises by the test and the science behind it.
Did they say why they didn't want you to say anything?
Because they weren't to get her build up to something that maybe didn't happen. She wouldn't need chemo. She wouldn't need radiation. They wanted to make sure that when we give that message to her, that was going to be the message that is the correct message at that time. If that makes, and again, so here it is. I get the message. I sit there. I'm upset. I remember being there and hearing about her going to have chemo, radiation treatments. Okay, Eric. Now, we're not going to find out the test results until next Friday. So I have a whole week to keep this secret. I'm not used to keeping secrets from my wife for a week. Lily, maybe not even a day. Right? So, right. Yeah. So the phone call comes. We're in the car. We're going to dinner or something. I can't remember exactly what. I remember them telling her, yes, it came back positive. They want to do chemo and they want to do radiation. She hangs up the phone in the car. I confess right away. I'm like, Marla, I knew it a week ago. She's like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, they told me not to tell you. And then we had to go through the same thing with my mother-in-law and tell her that what I knew. And she got very, very upset with me. So that was my first experience of being a full-time caretaker.
Boy, you could have been the hero. You could have not said anything and just been as surprised as everybody else.
Not in my family, not in Marla's. No, no, no. You don't understand the dynamics of my family. I better tell things up front, or I'm in big trouble. Big trouble. No, I had to fess up, just to make sure, and me being so naive and in the beginning, I mean, it was 2013, I mean, and I don't know. I look back at it now, and that's a long time ago, and things have changed so much around her care and what has happened from there to now. And we went through the chemo, we went through the radiation, we were good for 2 years. Then it came back.
So, how was it for you, really, I guess, watching her go through that initial, chemo and radiation? Like, and like, what was your role in taking care of her, and how did you
Let me
deal
give
with?
you a little background on that, because Marla decided that she did not want to lose her hair from chemo. So she decided to be a badass and shave her head. So she did. She did. She took charge of it. She owned it. She come home, and she started it. Started the chemo. The hair wasn't coming back. Marla had to put a hat on and go to work that day on Monday. She went to work, and she was doing work 5 days a week doing chemo. Crazy,
Wow,
right? Right.
badass.
Badass is right. But the amazing woman. She's been how she's fought all the way through. But that's other stuff going on there. As far as the diagnosis and how she react, she's always been a rock star. I mean, it's amazing to
How
watch.
did you respond to the treatments and all of that?
I was very receptive. I just listened a lot. I didn't know what to say a lot. I kind of just, I was a follower. I basically, in the beginning, I didn't know, too much. I was under the impression that the double mastectomy, and they were going to do the reconstruction surgery, and that I was going to have some new body modifications for my wife, and everything was going to be great. That's what I thought. In my head, it was, oh yeah, okay, go ahead, take those old ones away, put the new ones on, and we're good, right? That's how stupid I was. I'm telling you, and how naive I was. And to think about that, how naive I'm from now to then, it's embarrassing to a point that I was so naive.
Well, I mean, you didn't know. You didn't have all the experience that you have
No,
now.
exactly. But then, was there a book out there to say, "Hey, Eric, it's not going to be that simple"? You know what I mean? Wait a minute, you're way off base here. What you're thinking and what's reality and what's fantasy here. Let's get these two in line a little bit, because you're way out of bounds.
Well,
You
and we
know?
all we all hope. I mean, that initial diagnosis, we hope that that's going to be it, and and then the doctors definitely hope that too. So, like, hey, you're going to do these things, and then you're going to be fine. But obviously, cancer has a mind of its own, and it chooses, and there's nothing really we can do about it. And ultimately,
Well, it never sleeps. It never takes a break. It's always there. It never gets down. It never gets depressed. You know what I mean? I've lived with it for a long time. I understand it. It doesn't go away. It's like the air you breathe. It's there.
yeah,
So
unfortunately.
yeah. I
So you
mean,
had 2 free years.
yeah, we did. And Marla's, she's recovered, and in the beginning of the metastatic diagnosis, she could hide better, if that makes any sense. She wasn't as sickly as we're progressed now, where we're in clinical trials now.
Mhm.
But she took a pill every day. Things were fine. Nothing going. Her day to day hadn't changed that much. As time had gone along, things had just started to change a little bit. Her hair started thinning, and just different side effects. I've learned something about chemo and diagnosis and all the treatment plans. Side effects, side effects, side effects. If you can manage side effects, you're there. But if you can't manage the side effects, that's where you have problems. And that's a tall order for everybody. And understanding that, myself, I learned empathy. I learned patience. I learned understanding. I learned how to be a caretaker. I didn't have that motherly instinct in me. I didn't have that. I had to learn it. It wasn't naturally in me to do that. But my wife needed me to do it, so I
So
did it.
is this kind of on the job training, or
I got thrown
did
in
you have books that you
firsthand.
could
Yeah,
read?
pretty much like swimming lessons. Just throw you in the pool and get to the side. That's where you can be safe at. But it's been a process from certain things along the way and where we are today. Some of the things we have to do today and are a lot different than we had to do in the beginning, for sure. Some of the side effects and some of the how to the management, some of her symptom management. Let me put it like that. We have a lung drain we do every other day that keeps her breathing better because she has COPD as well. So that throws a lot of wrenches and things too. You
Is
know,
that a side effect from the treatments?
no, that was the original. That was side that we proved that breast cancer actually was first and caused COPD afterwards.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been.
Um,
I mean, when I first met Marla, I mean, she was the epitome of health. I mean, you
yeah.
couldn't see anything wrong with her. I mean, it was crazy. I met her in 2004, and and here we are, 2013. 9 years later, something happened. We didn't. Nobody knew. We didn't know. We didn't know. I don't think Marla knew. You know, like what are the statistics now? I think 1 out of 3 women have some form of breast cancer. One
Yep.
out of three. That's a lot. That's a number that should not be even close to 1 out of 3. I don't know what the right number is, but 1 out of 3 is way too many.
How about one out of none? Like that
Yeah,
would be
well,
great.
yeah, exactly. Why not? I mean,
Right. And we still have no idea actually what causes it. So there's really no way to 100% prevent it because there are so many different things that have been shown to cause it. It's
oh, that's the
insane.
thing is the variations and the mutations and all that, the science behind all of this. And then I got real in tune with that the last year and a half with Marla's metastatic diagnosis and being in clinical trials. You have the treatment side of that, and then you have the science side of that, and they both go down the same avenue a little bit, but they don't. They're two different roads. If that makes okay, you have the treatment, fine, but the science that they want you to do and the documentation and everything you sign up for when you do a clinical trial, you know what? You do what you're told, basically. Okay, you have no say. You have no say. You know what? Either you can't do it. Okay, great. You can't do it. You're out of the trial. Simple as that. I
That's
mean,
that's got to be hard to have no autonomy
well,
at all.
that's where your will to live comes into play, and what you got to live for, and who you're living for, all that. Marla has a life force that is incredible. I mean, her
Yes, she does.
spirit, her energy is second to none. I mean, I'm amazed by her daily. I mean, what she accomplishes. She has bad days like everybody else, but you know what? She has a lot of good days too. Yeah.
So what goes on in your world right now being her caretaker? So kind of what do you do?
Well,
And I mean, I know you do everything, but kind of take us through, a day of what you need to do caring for somebody with metastatic breast cancer.
well, we have a full time nurse as well that comes through here to the day. I work full time, so
Okay.
I work at Home Depot, and I do that. I go very early. I get home about 1:30, so I'm here in the afternoon. So I take care of her from the afternoon till we have dinner time. And Marla, towards the end of the day, Marla gets tired. She's her by 4 o'clock. She's pretty much done. I mean, she wants to have her dinner and relax, watch some TV, and get to bed. Because I get up early. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, so I have to get out the door. So she recognizes that I have to get to sleep pretty early, so she does it too, and it kind of works out that way. But as far as the day to day, it can depend. What if her side effects are acting up and her tummy is a mess, and who knows what is going on there? That the how some of the unexpecteds go on that you don't expect, and you can never be ready for it. You just react and deal with it. Just like a baby or whatever you do. You know what? It's got to be done. Fix it. Let's go. I mean, that's just that way it is. You're not going to get out of it. It's like she's going to need your help, and whatever it may be, let's get her in and out of the shower, whatever it is, we're going to make it happen, make sure she's safe, and we're going to take care of her every day. And that's what I do.
So it's really kind of different day to day.
Well, I can't say that her activity, okay, I'll tell you something I do day to day. When I pull up in the driveway, I look up, I kind of lock my truck up and get ready, and I think to myself, I take a deep breath, and I try to flip a switch, and I come home as caretaker from at work, because I don't know what I'm walking into. I don't know. Marla might be, her tummy must be upset. She can't get off the floor. Who knows what I'm going to walk into, right? I have that mindset of being, don't tell them what you're going to walk into. Hope for the best, prepared for the worst. And that seems to work for me. Yeah.
So what do you do for you? What do you do to keep yourself, self-care, so you have the energy to be able to take care of her, every day, and not knowing what you're getting into?
I don't know where I get that. People ask me all the time, Eric, how you doing it? How you keeping up? Well, I don't know how I'm doing it. I just do it. This is where, when we're talking about caretakers' roles, if you're not committed to her, get out of the way. She's going to need your help. If you really care about your wife, you'll be there for her and you'll do it. But if you don't care enough, you know what? I could see where it would be overwhelming to some people, and they could not handle it. People are selfish, and they're self-centered. It happens. I married a very special lady. I know that. Now, if it was reversed, I know she'd be bending over backwards to take care of me. I know she would. Of course she would. Exactly right. And that keeps me, and that motivates me as well. Because her girlfriends see what I do for her, and I gotta say I'm a rock star, because how I help her, they don't get, they definitely they appreciate me. Let me put it that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she talks me up big. I walk on water in her eyes, but to me it's just normal, right?
Well, it's your normal, right? It's not everybody's normal.
That's it right there. What is your normal, and how to deal with your normal, and that's everything. You said a mouthful of being normal, because my normal, people would look at my normal and go, no way, I can't do, I wouldn't, how are you doing that? No, crazy, and I don't know, we just do it. We do it, we do it for each other. We do it for my 16-year-old in the bedroom. We do it for the dog that lays next to her. We just do it.
Well, and you never know what you have the capability of doing until you don't have any other choice. Like if you 10 years ago during chemo, like you never would have imagined that you probably would even be able to do everything that you're doing today.
Draining her lung, absolutely out of my comfort zone, way out of my comfort zone. But I had to step up and do it. It helps her breathe. And to me now doing it, it's nothing. It's just like tying my shoes, right? I've done it so many times, it's okay. But in the beginning, I was, no, what, I can't hurt her. I'm just, and I got like about 5 minutes of training in the where they did the procedure. So it's not like I got a big training course about it, pretty much. I'm supposed to actually teach a class about it too, because of Marla's respiratory therapy doctors, their nurses don't know how to do it so well. So I guess I'm supposed to help them out and learn how to do it.
Oh, seriously?
I don't know. That's what I've heard. I don't know. He thinks I'll make a better impact showing them how, an average guy does this. And you know what? You guys can do this too. Believe me, it's not that hard.
All right. So you didn't really answer my question. Do you get any time to yourself? Do you have anything that you do on your own to just fill your own cup?
Not really. Not so much anymore. I work. I'm tired. My pace is pretty crazy. I don't have a lot of time for myself. Marla and I try to have quality time together. So we'll do something together that we'll have, dinner, whatever, watch a movie in the bedroom, something that we'll do together that we can do, that she can enjoy and I can enjoy. And that's our quality time. And that's okay for me right now. And we've been doing that for a while. You know,
I love that.
yeah.
You can just,
You have to be pliable. You have to be flexible. This is what this is all about as a caretaker. There's no set rules. You ask me about what I do day to day to day. There's a zillion things I do day to day to day, but I don't do them every other day. You know what I mean? So who knows?
you
What
do whatever comes up.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
All right. And then you are driving every week for her clinical trial stuff, right? Are you
Yes.
still doing that?
Yes.
So
Well, we got it. We actually
how far do you drive? How long are you gone? Like,
okay. From door to door, I know it's 187 miles to where we go in Houston, MD Anderson from my house.
it's like
Uh,
3 hours ish.
3.5 hours
Okay.
depends on 10 how 10 is. It's We leave on a Sunday. We get there. We stay Sunday night. She gets her treatment on Monday if everything goes smoothly. We leave Monday afternoon and we're home Monday night. Our week continues Tuesday. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they want to do PET scans, or they want to do brain scan, or they want to do something else. And we've been down there when she did radiation this last time for her back. We were down there 17 days straight.
Wow.
17 days straight. And that was horrible. It's bad enough. We've been doing it for quite a while, 18 months at least. We've been going down pretty regularly. And there's been some times where we've been going down every week there was a good 4 months there. I think we were going down every week, and just 2-3 days minimum, you know. My job's been great about it. They've been like, whatever you need.
I was going to ask how Home Depot is
You know
with your
what?
schedule.
They've been awesome. I'll tell you right now. They got my back. That's all. They told me right from the beginning, Eric, we're going to get you through this. You know what I mean? I went, I'm going to need flexibility. And they go, you got it. That's what I need. So that's what they gave me.
I worked for Home Depot before I started in chiropractic school. I worked in their corporate office in Atlanta for a little over a year. And I just remember how amazing they always were. Like, my dad passed away while I was working there, and they were just amazing. And they gave me all the time that I needed. And I can't say enough great things about Home Depot. I've always thought they were an amazing company.
They are the orange family. They
Yeah.
do. They really preach that, and they back it up. It takes a bunch of individuals to make that happen.
Mhm.
I've been at this Home Depot. I've only been at one store. I just hit 8 years.
Wow.
8 years. And, I thought I'd be there 30 days when I started. 8 years. You kidding me? But what's nice about it, it's worked into my schedule. I'm 5 minutes from the front door, from here to my job. So if Marla needs me, I can get home quick. It's just nice. My job is not very stressful. Sometimes it is physical. And customers, that can be always a challenge too, but that's okay. That's part of the job.
Right.
Yeah, I love what I do. And you ask me what I do for myself. I flip a switch. Sometimes when I come into Home Depot's parking lot, I turn on to being a Home Depot employee, right? And then I try to, and a lot of people, my customers, my coworkers, they all know what's going on with my house with Marla and everybody. So customer, hey Eric, how's Marla? Blah blah blah. I have that relationship for over the time with a lot of different people, and that's really special.
I wonder if it's a guy thing to just be able to compartmentalize that way, and just to be able to have like two, I don't want to say personalities, but you've got, you flip a switch, you're in work mode, and then you flip a switch and you're in husband caretaker mode.
Right. And the thing about, I've had my moments at work where I broke down, that I've been upset about different things that are going on here. I'll be honest, they've been supportive there, but I don't bring that hurt here. I try not to. Sometimes Marla and I will share some of that, sure, but most of the time I'm trying to be, a rock for my son, be stable, be like pushing, okay, we're okay. Not to be phony about it though. Be real about it, and we're okay, son. We're okay. And this thing about, we've done it. My son has dealt with this since he's been 4 years old. Cancer's been in his life since he was 4.
Wow.
And it's molded him as well into some special kind of. He is the most caring 16-year-old. I'm a little biased, but yeah, he is. He's a pretty special kid. You know,
That's
how many
awesome.
16-year-olds have grown up with that
Right.
and molded them into a human being around that? He has. You know, and if I would have known that to bring him in the world of that, would I have tried not to pull him into that? Maybe I would have. You know, blah, right, whatever. But that's the cards he got dealt. That's like Marla. There's, you have to live the life you've been presented with, right? I mean, what are you going to do? Quit? No, no.
Yeah. And it is our hardships that really forge our personality and our values. So, I mean, as parents, I think we all want to shield our kids from hardships, but it's those hardships that make them strong, make them independent, make them amazing, adults once they get there.
They have to learn that way too. They just struggle to deal with it, mature about it, understand what they can change and what they can't change.
Right.
I mean, and that's something about with my deal is men like to fix things. Oh, but the car's broken. Let me go get a new tire, new battery, whatever. Blah blah. Your car's good now. We can't do this with cancer. We can't just go and make it go away. So acceptance, it's there's a lot to all that too. I mean, it's like a death. I think you go through all the stages you do with a death: denial, anger, sadness. I mean, I truly believe it's just like a death. The emotions you go through.
Well, you are grieving. You're just
Yeah,
grieving while they're still here. You're grieving the loss of the life that you had,
for
on
sure.
a continual basis.
Yeah, I'm Marlon, and we joked around at night too. I just think if we never had breast cancer in our marriage, where would we be? What would we be
Yeah.
doing? Who knows, right? I mean, that's not the cards we got dealt. But it's nice to think about it once in a while and say, "What if?" But that's just a witch on the star.
Now, Marla said when I chatted with her that you want to write a book about being a man and being a caretaker. So why do you want to do that?
When I could have used some information to give me some peace of mind in the beginning. I could have used some guidance. I could have you know how you all see these internet hacks, different things, whatever. Things I figured out for Marla, like a wig rack that I put together for her, just different things along the way to make her treatments easier. And I think this is not a autobiography any which way. This is a self-help book. This is a kind of a guidance. Hey, you know what? When we talked about side effects, and I'll have a chapter about side effects, and I'll just talk all about just side effects and how to manage side effects and how that's just one. Then you're going to talk about another chapter is about surgeries. You know what I mean? And what to your expect when you see her lift her shirt, and what you're going to see, and be ready for that. And be ready for that. I mean, I don't think most men are. I mean, you can see it in a picture, but when it's 2 feet away from you, and it's your wife, and drastic changes have happened, you have to get comfortable with that. That's all I say with that. I mean, it's a learned process. It is. I mean, because it's your body. I mean, even Marla. I remember when she first saw herself, she blew a gasket. She was absolutely upset, beyond upset. I mean, this is what I got now. I mean, it's a very slap in the face at that point, and um, people don't realize how dramatic the change can be.
So what's one thing that you would say to a husband to help him prepare for that eventuality?
Listen really well. Listen and get ready for the very, very unexpected. Go in there, do your research, talk to some people that have been through it if you can. Um, Go in with an open mind. I would do some soul searching, really quick off the bat, and how much you can take. I don't think men understand how much damage breast cancer can do to the body. It's wrecked Marla's body. I mean, I've seen. I'll put it like this: death by 1,000 cuts. You know what I mean? It's one thing if your wife got in an accident up the road here on 71, boom, she's gone, right? Okay, you're going to be all upset, all that, right? But to watch her go through these stages and stages and stages, and know that she's terminal. Those are things that take a lot of understanding, a lot of getting used to, a lot of conversations. I mean, it's not an easy thing to accept or deal with. As far as someone first going through it, I would say enjoy every minute you can with her. Get ready to support her. Get ready to do some things you're very uncomfortable with. Be your best friend. She needs a best friend.
That's beautiful.
That's what I mean. That's all it is. I mean, not the husband. Be your best friend. Like her girlfriend would. No. It's fine. It's okay. A girlfriend would console her. Almost to that extent, I would say. Absolutely. I mean, because she's going to trust you. What if you're comfortable
hopefully
with
more
it,
than anybody else,
right? But if her husband's comfortable with it, then I think that helps her get comfortable with it, right? So it works both ways. If you start making a big fuss, oh my God, honey, it's awful. She's going to feel the same way. She's going to look at herself in the mirror. Oh, I'm awful. And what does that do to a person? Not good. Not good stuff.
Now, did you take that advice yourself? Did you have people that you could talk to? Did you know people who had gone through it that you could get advice from?
Not to the certain extent of everyone having cancer that I knew of, any friends, but I have a lot of childhood friends that I've been close with, my buddies forever. I mean, I consider them brothers, like blood brothers, right? And I bounce a few things off them, and and they do the best they can to understand and sympathize, and you work with what you have, right? And I think this whole thing is a learned process. It's not something that you can flip overnight and change. That's why the book is so important, to kind of break some things up and let the person absorb a little bit of that, absorb the next step, and not where I'm at, because the road, who knows how long the road is. And we don't want the road to end now, do we? Because that means someone very special in my life isn't around. So we want the road to keep going. And that keeps me going. That energizes me, because she needs me to be 100%. And so there it is.
I love that. Well, then you better get going on that book then.
Yeah, I've started. I actually got an app on my phone now that I could just talk into it, and it just records everything I'm talking about. So if I get in a mood and I'm thinking about it at night, I just start talking, do a chapter, and if I babble on whatever, I'll clean it up later. Just to start getting an outline of what I want to talk about. And I have probably 15 chapters at least already.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's different things. I mean, if I had my phone, one was I called one chapter The Secret. I called one chapter Side Effects. I called another chapter OMJ, was a mouth problem with Marla, with a bone was going, having problems with that. We've been through it, I don't know, chemo, different chapters, things that I've known, support lines. That's all I can think of right now, but there's a lot of them. I mean, and when people start talking to me about it, I forget how much I know. And then I realize, oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Let me talk to you about that. I can explain that to you a little more, and that's what, after all this time doing this since 2013, I don't keep a cancer file A to B in my head to Z, that what's going on different things. But there is a blog that Marla has from 2013. She started Marla's group. And there's a Facebook blog that comes from the whole thing from then till now. So we could go back and pull something back up 2 years ago, 3 years ago in the blog, and get an idea. Oh yeah, let me talk about that for my book. You know what I mean? It's a great reminder for me that we went through during that time. something else to talk about. There's a lot.
Now, if there's somebody out there who, is just starting on this journey, like, is there a way that people can reach out to you? Would you be open to,
Oh, absolutely.
chatting with people who may need advice or anything like that? Can you give me like an email or something that I can put in the show notes for people to be able to reach out to you?
Easy. Eric.Blaylock@hotmail.com.
Okay.
Eric.Blaylock. I've had it forever. Hotmail, I get it. Just, I would help anybody. I'm willing to talk to anybody. I mean, just the information I can share. Why not? Why not?
Because I think there are a lot of men out there who hopefully can get something out of this episode. And, if they need to talk or they need some advice, I think, it would be great if they could have the opportunity to chat with you.
Sure, absolutely. And, my advice to someone that's getting started in all this, don't be afraid. Be concerned, be worried, but don't be afraid. The doctors have done this a long time. They know what they're doing. And I would say 99%, they're trying to do the best they can for your loved one. Mm-hmm. You know what? I mean, that's really the nuts and bolts of this. And you have to trust the professionals. When it comes to diagnosis or the treatment plan or whatever it may be. So, I would say, you're very naive in the beginning. And I was extremely naive. So I get it.
Okay. That's fantastic. And I love what you said earlier. What did you say? If you're not in it, get out or something like that.
A man, I'm just saying to a man right now, if you know a man out there, if you don't love your woman enough to be there through the garbage and all the stuff that's going to happen, I'm telling you, it's going to be rough. Do her a favor, do yourself a favor, talk about it and say, you know what, honey, I am just not man enough to deal with this. And admit it and say, hope for the best and turn around and walk away with shame, but walk away.
Well, I hope that anybody listening to this is not going to do that.
It takes that commitment. And if you're not, you got to be all in. You got to be. I mean, she's going to need you. Don't support her for a year and then all of a sudden this is too bad and go, guess what? You know what? I don't want to be part of this anymore. I got to go. You might as well get out in the beginning. Why save yourself the headache and her the headache? Let her learn how to do it on her own. That's hardcore, but I think it's better for her to understand okay, screw him. You know what? This is my fight. I don't need him to have my fight anyway. So, something else will come along. Another door open, if that's the case. And I say that so point blank in a way because I know how much I care about my wife. I could never walk away from her. I would never do that. And like I told you before, that if it was reversed, I know she'd be right there for me, 100%. Mm-hmm. So if you can't analyze your own relationship and know that's how it would work either way, for you or for her, I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, on that note.
Well, I'm always willing to talk, and you know what? Every situation is different. Right. And, this is not a cookie cutter thing. Okay, you know what? No, I'm not saying that at all. But you're going to have to look within and find out if you got the power to deal with this. And you do. Believe me, you do. But you got to want to do it.
And I think that's the other big thing about this is it's not cookie cutter. There is no one size fits all. There is, you got to just be able to work on the fly and deal with whatever comes up. And, that's kind of the new normal going through something like this. That's it.
And, and you think about, what you could go through, how bad life can be. You know what? This is not a death sentence by any means to anybody. It can be cured. Metastatic's a different animal altogether, but you know what? On the first stages of breast cancer, you catch it early, you're in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Eric. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad we could get together.
It was a great conversation, and I know people are going to get a lot out of this.
You think so?
I do. Absolutely. Yes.
All right. If we need to do another one, let me know. We'll figure it out.
Absolutely. I would love that.
Okay. Take care. Thanks for your time.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.